A warm welcome to Wheel of Wisdom, a place where the right message finds you. So, let me show you guys our Wheel of Wisdom. Just a minute. Yeah. So, this is our Wheel of Wisdom. And as you guys can see, this wheel contains the name of 50 plus books, one of the top books that I have read over the last 10 years of my life. And now, what we are going to do is we are going to spin the wheel, and the universe is going to select a book for us. So, before we spin the wheel, I invite you guys to take a moment and ask yourself, what do I need guidance on today? And see if something specific emerged for you. If so, hold that in your mind as we spin the wheel. Oh, okay. So the book that came up is Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before by Dr. Julie Smith, who is a psychotherapist. So let me open this beautiful book and let's learn what has nobody told you before that you need to know. So just a minute while I open the book. Okay. So my dear ones, this is our beautiful book. Why has nobody told me this before? And now I'm going to choose some numbers so that we can play a game together. Just a minute. Oh, we have a comment. Okay, just a second. Let me type the number. Okay. Wendy says, I don't think I need guidance today, but I want to tell you how much I love this. The Wheel of Wisdom, all the books, and how you led these lives. Oh, I guess, I needed to hear those kind words today, Wendy. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for letting me know that. I'm really glad that the format and the space, resonates with you. And I'm soon going to add that book as well, the one that you really love, about letting go. So, yeah, hoping to add that soon to this wheel as well. Okay, so my lovely, amazing, amazing people. Hmm. Let's see what is the message that wants to come up in the space. So, for that, I invite you guys to pick a number between 18 to 249. And again, there is no rush. I pick a number randomly. So just see what number comes up first in your mind, share it in the comments, and then I will intuitively pick one number that I'm feeling most called to. Uh, okay. And also, yeah, and also wanted to add that even though, you don't feel like you need guidance, Wendy, I so appreciate you still choosing to spend your time here in this space. Ah, okay, so yeah, thank you, AC. Thank you, Caitlin, Olivia, Kathleen, Lisa, Arya, Claire. Anyone else who feels called to share a number? Okay, then let's see. Whose number am I feeling most called to? Wendy says, I find this fun and engaging, even to watch only. Thank you, thank you. That was, one of the intentions behind this. So yeah, I'm glad that you have fun in the space. Okay, let's see. So the number that I'm feeling most called to is 244, and the number has been chosen by Caitlin for all of us. Okay, let's see what wants to come through 244. So the Caitlin is excited. So Caitlin, the heading on this page is secure attachment. So there are different kinds of attachment according to attachment theory by Bowlby, and it's basically, like the kind of relationship that we especially had with our caregivers when we were children, and how it is, um, it continues in our current adult relationship as well. So sometimes people have, anxious attachment, sometimes they have avoidant attachment, and sometimes they have secure attachment, which is, seen as a healthy attachment. So just to give you a background, Caitlin says, oh, okay, listen. So, secure attachment. When parents are able to reliably respond to their child's emotional and physical needs, that child is able to learn over time that what she feels can be communicated and responded to. She feels safe to express needs and learns that she is able to go into the world to get those needs met. This does not mean parenting was perfect, but it was reliable enough to generate that secure base and was repaired when mistakes were made, so that trust continued. The securely attached child is not constantly happy with every need anticipated before a cry. They will feel safe enough to show their distress when a parent leaves, but will rekindle that connection when united. As they continue into adulthood, they would enjoy closeness, feel able to express their needs and feelings while maintaining the capacity for some independence. A secure attachment is a solid foundation for managing healthy relationships as an adult, but it is not a guarantee of ideal relationship choices or behaviors. Those with a secure attachment style navigating a relationship with someone who has a different attachment style can improve their relationship by working hard to understand and show compassion to the partner who had a different experience in their early years. So, yeah, that was what came up for, secure attachment style. Like how it looks like when you were a child, or if you have a child, like what that looks like. It doesn't mean that that the child is always happy, that there are no mistakes in parenting. It's just that mistakes were made, they were acknowledged, and they were repaired. There was something that was done to repair them, and that trust, that initial trust that okay, my parents are reliable, was maintained throughout despite some mistakes which are normal, which are a part of you know humanness. So yeah, those were made. And now also, if you know if you have in terms of adulthood, how that reflects is that you know give me a second to read that part. Mm. Yeah, that you are able to express your needs and feelings as you were able to do as a child, you learned to do as a child. And you knew that if you express your needs and feelings, they would not be met with rejection, criticism, punishment, abuse, whatever that was. So you have this inner feeling that now I can, you have this kind of permission within yourself that yeah, it is safe to express my needs and feelings. And either I can express that to another person, and they would help me meet them. Or I also have that kind of independence that I can meet my own needs. So this kind of uh, a dynamic develop within a relationship if you have been brought up with a secure attachment style. If you have that kind of attachment style, and if your partner do not have it, then you know the invitation is to be more understanding, to be more compassionate, that you might need to put a little more effort, you might need to understand their attachment style and respond accordingly at some times to make this whole relationship work as well. So if this seems interesting to you, or like, okay, you would like to work upon it, or you would like to move towards a secure attachment style, you can maybe, I think there might be a test or something available by for like testing what attachment style you have, and then this would help you understand yourself better in any relationship, and to take like to take little steps towards developing a more secure attachment. Or you can, like, if you want, you can work with a therapist who is trained in this particular kind of therapy approach. So yeah, that's it. That's all that I wanted to say that came up for me from this reading. And let's see what Caitlin has to say, because it was her number. Caitlin says that is the goal we are headed towards. Yes, the balanced, healthy, secure bit. I'm glad that it resonated with what you're moving towards, what is the direction that you're seeking. Caitlin says, thinking of internal family systems, and my little Caitlin, ah, I love that, because as I was reading this is usually used like in terms of your relationship with other people. But the moment I read this, something appeared for me, like in terms of, how what kind of relationship do we have with ourselves, or with the little ones, or with different parts of ourselves. Like, are we, do we allow them to express their needs and feelings, and do we respond to them on a consistent basis, so that a trust can develop between our parts and us, that okay, so they know that there is going to be the self, there is going to be you who is going to meet their needs in the most, wise, compassionate, best possible manner, and you're going to do it. It's not just a one time thing, you're going to do it consistently, and that's how a trust is developed between any relationship. So, this might also be an invitation for you to be able to listen to the needs and feelings of different parts of you, and to tend to them, to develop a more secure relationship with your parts. So, yeah, I love, So, thank you for like just I'm going to read it, but yeah, just by reading the first line, it reminded me of that thing that popped up in my head. Caitlin says, thinking of internal family systems and my little Caitlin, and tending to her needs and safety when some insecurity, especially that abandonment wound, comes up. And then, if I'm not able to work through it alone, bringing it to hubby, even if I'm fearful and anxious about the conversation. Each time he meets me with patience and compassion, I reinforce that I can speak up and we can work together. Exactly. I love this, because this is what we learn, in a healthy relationship. Like, maybe your early years, right, were such that, that your needs were not met, that your feelings were criticized, they were dismissed, they were, uh, like all that bad stuff happened. And now you get to have this, person with you who makes you feel like, yes, your needs deserve to be met, that your feelings are valid, and that you have that safe space to, like express them. So the whole relationship and your whole inner world also changes as you gather more and more evidences from your current healthy relationship. So thank you, Caitlin, for just sharing this beautiful, like process that you go through. I love that. Love it. Absolutely. Caitlin says, my childhood was a mix. I got severely burned on the oven at 1 year old, and then at about 18 months or so, I fell and needed stitches. So baby Caitlin has some big traumas. And then, yeah, no, then And then, parents being human, doing what they could with what they knew and all. Oh, Caitlin, a hug to you, a warm hug to you. I'm sorry that, that version of you had to go through all that pain, all those accidents and all those, unintentional mistakes by your parents or, whatever happened. So, yeah, a warm hug. Mm. You have grown into a wonderful, beautiful adult who is so kind, who is so loving, who is so thoughtful. Caitlin says, I cannot wait to see where our next reading takes us. ah, so am I excited to see that, Caitlin. And this was a lovely read. I loved it. And for some reason, I'm seeing 2828. So I'm going to post, search. What does that mean? What is the message that wants to come through that? And it is still there, like 28 people have joined us, and there are 28 hearts. So, okay. So let me see, what is it that the universe wants to communicate to us? So, angel number 2828 is a powerful cosmic sign of impending abundance and balance. The number 2 signaling harmony, relationships, and trust. And 8 representing financial success, manifestation, and personal power. Seeing it means your hard work is aligning with the universe to bring you success, but requires you to stay grounded. Okay, interesting message. The two parts, especially, like resonated with our current reading. Okay. So now let me take out the wheel again and let's spin and see what wants to come through next for us. So, again, bring to your mind whatever it is that you need guidance on as we spin the wheel. Okay. So, the book that came up is The Pocket Pema Chödrön. So, this is like a pocket collection of her teachings, and she is a famous Buddhist teacher. So, let me open this beautiful book and see what wants to come through from this book. So this is her. I love her smile. So now I'm going to choose some numbers for us so that we can play a game together. Give me a moment. Okay. And maybe in my group, I will later on add to the first reading, like maybe some, tiny steps that you can take to move towards that secure attachment so that, you have something to take action on as well later on. But yeah, okay, moving on to our second book. I invite you guys to pick a number between 11 to 116. Here you go. And again, no need to rush. I choose a number randomly. So just share the first number that pops up in your head, and I will choose one intuitively from the comments. Caitlin says, all right, I like this one. I think it is a nice compilation, a collection of delicious and juicy thoughts. I love how you described it. Thank you, Sound. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, V, for sharing a number. Anyone else who feels called to share a number? Thank you, Olivia. It's interesting. We are getting a lot of double numbers today. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, then let's go with the numbers that are here. So the number that I'm feeling most called to is 44, and the number has been chosen by Olivia for all of us. So let's see what wants to come through page 44 for Olivia and all of us who are here. Okay, so the message is difficult people help us to learn and grow. So, okay, give me a second. Yeah. So, Gordy Jeff, Gord GF, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce this. But yeah, there was a renowned spiritual teacher who lived in the early parts of the 20th century. There was a man in his community who was really bad tempered. Nobody could stand this guy because he was so prickly. Every little thing caused him to spin off into a tantrum. Everything irritated him. He complained constantly. So everyone felt the need to tiptoe around him because anything can because anything that might be said could cause him to explode. People just wished that he would go away. So the teacher liked to make his students do things that were completely meaningless. One day there were about 40 people out cutting up a lawn into little pieces and moving it to another place on the ground. This was too much for this fellow. It was the last straw. He blew up, stormed out, got in his car, and drove off. Whereupon there was a spontaneous celebration. People were thrilled, so happy he had gone. But when they told the teacher what had happened, he said, "Oh no," and went after him in his car. 3 days later, they both came up. The night when teacher's attendant was serving him supper, he asked, "Sir, why did you bring him back?" Teacher answered in a very low voice, "You are not going to believe this. And this is just between you and me. You must tell no one. I pay him to stay here." Okay. So yeah, there are like so many interesting, Zen stories, and I love like, how they make your mind kind of blank in a way. And here the teacher asked this person who was so irritating, who everyone hated, to stay there because the teacher had a habit to give, kind of completely meaningless or so-called meaningless task or things to that group of people. And maybe the teacher was trying to teach all of them that difficult people help us learn and grow. Like there is something, there is some meaning to having these difficult people, in our life, in this world, and you know and we just need to, because like sorry, so maybe the universe just is reminding you that if you are being irritated by someone in your life, then there might be something that, there might be some meaning that you're meant to learn, to be someone when you are around them, to develop certain qualities, to develop certain skills, through that, to use every to use every interaction with that person as an opportunity to be to to like practice certain skills, practice certain tools, practice being a kinder person, a compassionate person. Because there was like in one of the previous live there was this reading. Actually, we got two readings. The one was like so yeah, okay. So whenever you are interacting with like a person who irritates you, who makes you angry, who makes you frustrated, you can do a different like a lot of different things. So there was this reading around like when you are driving and certain people cut you off and that irritates you. So maybe changing your perspective to like this person don't know how to drive or this person is a rude person to maybe something is happening. There's an emergency on his end. So learning to shift your perspective and see how the way you feel change and the way you behave change, like the whole state that you are in change just by changing your perspective. And that might be something that you need to learn. Or maybe you know you can use that interaction to gain like a bigger perspective, like to develop a more compassionate approach, to develop more compassion within you, either by visualizing this person that irritates you as like a baby who was once just like you when you were a baby, who is innocent, who has not been yet impacted by the world, who has not yet been conditioned, and all of that. Or you can send them loving kindness wishes. So just like using, so just seeing there might be some meaning for having those difficult people in your life, and they might be helping you become a better person in a way. Of course, you're not wishing for more difficult people, but the ones you have, you can use them as an opportunity to be better, to learn to respond differently, to develop certain skills. So yeah, that was what came up for me from the story. And yeah, and if anything else comes up for you, you can share that in the comments. And let me know, Olivia, if it resonated with you. Okay, we have a message. So yeah, Caitlin says, I have been him. Okay, so you have been the person who has been irritating Caitlin. Or have you been the teacher? Ah, okay. Then you taught a lot of people a lot of things. If you have been that irritating person. Okay, give me a second to take a sip of water and then I will read Olivia's and Gina's comment. Okay, just following up on Caitlin's comment, she says, maybe the teacher, lol. But I was referring to the irritating, angry person, yes. So yeah, you know, there was some meaning for other people to have you in that version of like to have that version of you in their life. So if you have been like judging yourself a lot around that, maybe you can let that go with this reading. Um, okay. Olivia says, oh my goodness, my youngest of three has been so irritating that uh, that his siblings, twin and older as well as me, have been tired of him. And while I have temper tantrums with him, I remind myself he's teaching me and I need to be the adult. Oh, I love that. Mind you, nobody hates my child and he has lots of sweetness. But the main point is similar. Also, I want to be sure he doesn't grow up to be that awful adult. Lol, definitely small scale resonates. Yeah, we are not saying that because a person cannot be fully like, I don't know, to summarize it, a person cannot be fully bad or just bad. Like every person has so many different things to offer, so many different qualities, so many different versions of themselves that they show. So like, for example, Olivia's youngest one might be sometimes irritating for her, but he is sweet to his friends or her friends. And yeah, so that is also another thing that we can remember, like this person in front of me, this is not just what I am thinking of this person. They have lot many other versions, they have lot many other qualities, they have lot many, other beautiful you know um I'm not able to like remember the word, but yeah, so many beautiful things to offer to the world as well. So that can also be something that can help us, not hate a person. Like not specifically, referring to Olivia's son or her feelings towards him. Of course, she loved her. Of course, but just yeah, it just reminded me of, this other aspect, this other perspective that we can have. Um and yeah, and I love, what you say to yourself. And I think Caitlin has also commented on that. Caitlin says, "Oh, I have to be the adult." Yes, so teaching your kiddo and helping them process their things. And while you are doing that and being there for them, choosing not to explode back, you are honoring and loving your own inner child. Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like with a child, like you get to also learn to respond differently to them, like to model a different behavior to them. Like even when someone is doing something that irritates you, what you do matters, and you are teaching them like what can they do when someone irritates them, so that they don't explode on someone else around. So yeah, you are modeling that, you are first learning it, you are working on yourself, and then you are teaching them as well. Like this is a whole circle that is going on here. So yeah, thank you, Caitlin, for sharing that. I love that. Okay, now going to Gina's comment. Gina says, interesting. I have been working on shifting the way I think about things. Ha. Then you got a lot of ideas, towards, like different kinds of shifts that you can take in different situations that you face. And Gina also added, I would also like to add that the main reason is because I noticed I have been experiencing many negative feelings. This is something I learned long ago in a mindfulness training class, and I need to remind myself of these tools all the time. I love that, Gina, that you're working on yourself, that you are applying what you have learned in that training class. And yeah, it is sometimes difficult to remember, to apply those tools, but the more we practice them, as it seems like you are trying to do, as like you have that intention to apply them, so the more you will, it would become more likely that you would be able to apply that in those very very difficult situations. Ah, so yeah, love that, Sheila. And okay, just to add to your work in that direction, I want to share with you two resources. The first one is, like in terms of changing the way you think, because you have been noticing a lot of negative feelings, and they are definitely influenced by our thoughts, like what we are thinking, how we are perceiving a particular thing, a particular person, a particular situation. So, yeah, if you want to learn more tools, like, um, how to, like, once you have become mindful that, okay, I'm doing that right now. And if you have difficulty, you know, moving away from that story that your mind is telling you, then you can use some of the questions that I've shared here in this course to, get some distance from it, to be able to, like let go of that story, and maybe, you know, go ahead with a different one, with a more helpful one, with a more healthy story that is, going to help you move in that direction that you really, really want to go. So, yeah, you can check this out. And Yeah, and the other one was this. So this is also another course, but it is like on specific thoughts. So you can go through this and you can check out which of the thought patterns that you have, because there are certain, thought categories, negative thought patterns that most people have that makes their life miserable. So yeah, you can, check to find out which ones do you have. And then I've shared specific strategies to counter each kind of negative thinking pattern. So again, then you can apply those tools. But the first step is also awareness, always awareness, as you might have learned in mindfulness training that, you might have learned that skill to be aware, to catch yourself in the act when those thoughts are, pulling your attention away. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to share in case, it resonates. If not, you can ignore it. Okay, let's see. Any comment that I missed? Mm-hmm. Olivia says, essentially, he's teaching me with his difficult behaviors. Yeah, a lot to learn, definitely. Parenting is like so hard, as far as I can imagine. Ah, and you all are doing such a great job. The fact that you care so much, that you're working on yourself, means that you are such amazing, beautiful parents. Uh, okay, Caitlin says Olivia share helped her. Yeah, that's what I love here, when we all get to share something. We all are just, different sources of wisdom. And this is a space where that wisdom arrives. Okay, so my dear ones, let's see. Yeah, we have reached the end of our time. I was thinking, like, should we do one more reading or not? But yeah, we are like close to 1 hour. And by the time I wrap up, it would be like 1 hour. So since I'm doing these lives a little later than my usual time, I am not able to like stay for a much long time, which I used to before. So I hope that you guys received something of value from this live today, whether it was the readings, whether it was something I shared, whether it was something other people shared in the comments, or whether it was the meditation or just the general energy, that you received from the space. So, yeah, thank you so much for spending your precious, precious time with me. And in case you feel like supporting my work, you can do so by making a small donation. And if you can't do that, you can always just support me by listening to my content. That always like, makes me happy. Uh Kathleen says, thank you, Anisha. Wonderful live. Thank you, Kathleen, for, joining in from the start and staying till the end. I appreciate it. And yeah, and thanks to V too. V says, no worries. There is always next time. Yes, there is. And yeah, I have my next live, which is day after tomorrow. Let me add that here so that you guys can save it and I can see you all again. Olivia says, thank you, Anisha and everyone. Thank you, Olivia. Wendy says, listening and reviewing with stars and words. Yeah, definitely. That is like added bonus here because every time I like, all of us teachers, whenever we read your reviews, it's like whenever I see like a red dot in, like a notification in my review section, I'm like, okay, there is a review. I get excited and I'm like, okay, I would love to know how you guys found, what I created from my heart. It's such a fulfilling feeling. So yeah, the reviews and ratings do help. Okay. Now, for the ones who join the space for the first time, I want to take 3 to 5 minutes to share briefly where you can find all that I have to offer. So, my dear ones, the first place where you can find all of my offerings, all of the resources that I have created for you is by going to my profile. So, again, if you're new, you can follow it so you get notified about the lives and the new tracks. There are no notification currently for videos, but I share them in my group. So yeah, so when you go to my profile, you go to the home section and you scroll down. At the bottom, just above, my group here in the bottom, which is World of Wisdom, where I share the summary of these lives. Like within 10 minutes, I share the name of the books, the author, the exact readings, and I will also add some steps here to, move towards secure attachment style later on. So yeah, if you want like summaries and everything, so you can join this group with 145 other beautiful beings. Now, coming to the three places where I have all my resources. The first one is this playlist section. So, I have like five playlists, and you can, after the live, you can take your time to explore and see if you find, like if there's something that you need right now. So, there is this 21-day free mindfulness challenge. There is nervous system regulation techniques playlist. So here I have added like a lot of techniques to regulate your nervous system, to calm your nervous system down, or to just give your nervous system a signal of safety. Then there is Wheel of Wisdom, pick a meditation. So this playlist is basically um, similar to what we do in the lives here, where we tune into our intuition and choose a number. So here I have made this into a game so that the universe can choose a meditation for you each day, and you can be guided towards the exact thing that you need. And the all the tracks here in this playlist, which is like about 70 tracks, are completely free. So that if you don't have any premium as well, you can even watch them because of all the donations that have come in through these lives have kept that, free. Now, coming to this little reminders for you. This is the fourth playlist that I have. And if you have a lot of negative thoughts, then I would recommend you checking this out. This is something that I've created for my heart, from my heart. Um, for those moments when you feel low, when you need someone to reassure you, to make you feel like everything is going to be okay. So if you want to feel hopeful, reassured, empowered, then you can check out, this playlist, which have like many short talks for each negative thought. And then the final one is therapy tools and techniques. So here I have added different techniques from different therapy modalities for the problems that you might have. So you can open it, see if there is something for what you are facing, and try that technique, and use that tool whenever you need it. I'm also adding all the morning and the night tracks here as well, because they are also based upon some psychological concept as well. So yeah, this is the first place where you can find all of my resources. And about the other two, I will be very brief. So, second is the courses section. You can find all of my 7 courses here. The ones that I've shared in the comments, like as a card, are also here. And then the final place where you can find all of my resources is to go to the About section, scroll down, and here you will find anything additional that I offer, So if you want to work personally with me, or if you want to access the recording of this live and all the previous lives, then you will find everything here as well in the About section. So yeah, that's it. Those are the places where I have created all the resources that you might need. And I'm creating more, adding more to each of them. So thank you so much for listening to me so patiently. I so appreciate that. Caitlin says, personally, I always leave a track 5 star, and if I really like the teacher or track, I leave at least an emoji for them so they know I listened. And if for some reason I really don't like a track, I don't finish listening. No biggie, lol. Exactly, I do the same as well. And I think a lot of teachers do that because we know how it feels to receive like a bad review or to receive even some rude kind of reviews. So, yeah, it's always, we can always like opt out. I get to understand within like, a few minutes of listening to a track if I like it or if I don't. And if I don't resonate, I leave that space, I don't give any energy to it anymore. And Yeah, that is like so amazing, so kind of you, Caitlin, to do that. And I also like that you leave emojis because I love to know, when you are listening to one of my tracks. So thank you so much, Caitlin, really. Okay, guys. So I guess that's it for this live today. And I hope to see you guys again day after tomorrow at the same time. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your precious, precious time with me, for your beautiful presence in the space, for the lovely comments, and all the hearts that flowed into the space. I bow down to the divine within you all. Namaste. May you all be safe. May you all be happy. May you all be healthy. May you all feel at peace. Caitlin says, thank you as always, friend. Thank you so much. And guys, in case you don't know, Caitlin and Bendy are, wonderful teachers on Insight Timer. So if you don't know them, then I invite you to check out, like Wendy's lives or Caitlin's tracks because Caitlin is currently not doing any like lives as far as I know. Let me know if you are. But yeah, feel free to check out these amazing, wonderful teachers. Caitlin says, ooh, 44 joined, wonderful to end. Yeah, exactly. I noticed that. I'm seeing a lot of like 444s. And I love how we also included a 4 in his, in her comment. Yeah. So yeah, bye. V says bye for now. Bye V. Bye everyone. Take care. Have a lovely, beautiful day or night. See you soon. Bye bye. Oh, Emilia says, made it in time to say bye. Oh, bye, Emilia. Oh, bye. Take care. Have a beautiful, amazing day. I'm glad to have you, even for a little while.